What is up, friends? My name is Laura. If you've never visited my YouTube channel before, welcome. Today I'm coming to you from about a different topic, I would say similar but different, of course, that are on my channel, and that's about the coronavirus. And I'm not coming to you with any expert opinion. I'm coming to you about coronavirus anxiety, which has become a real thing. People are scared, and I'm just going to kind of compare quickly coronavirus to anxiety and why it's creating so much of kind of the same type of feeling. With anxiety, you're not sure of the future. It's very much of a panic sensation on what's going to happen. And I'm someone who I'm going through a grief process. My husband did pass away 3 years ago, and it's caused me a lot of anxiety in my life. What you thought might be your future suddenly isn't, and so it just creates a lot of anxiety in terms of what my future holds. And whether I want that to or not, it just has come into my life, and it's just something that I deal with, and I've learned a lot of coping mechanisms. So when it comes to the coronavirus, I'm sure you have seen it all over the news, all over your social media timelines, all over basically anything that you're looking at. And it's a very real thing, and it's caused people a lot of anxiety. The main reason is because they just don't see a full end in sight. And although I do believe it's there, there's no big plan yet as to what to do. So it's just caused people a lot of anxiety. So I'm here to share, as someone who has gone through a lot of anxiety, some of the tips that I have for you that you can use during this time. The first tip is to exercise. So for me, I'm someone who, one of my best things when I have anxiety is to get to the gym, do some exercise and get those endorphins rolling. And of course, going to the gym right now is not the best thing, and most gyms are actually closed at the moment. But that doesn't mean that you can't even just go outside and go for a run. If that doesn't make you feel comfortable, or you need to stay in your house, there are so many great at-home workouts that you can do. Whether that is just getting out, doing 10 burpees, doing 10 jumping jacks, doing 10 squats, doing 10 lunges, doing 10 this, and calling it a day, that 12 minutes can really honestly make this huge difference. There also are so many YouTube videos out there, definitely not from me or anything like that, but that you can look up and honestly see some and do them. Some of them will take you an hour, like I'm saying, some of them will take you 12 minutes. That 12 minutes can really help your anxiety levels, and it's something that I really recommend you doing. The second is just to take a bunch of deep breaths. And honestly, being in control of your breath can really make you feel more controlled of your entire body. And this is one of my biggest ones. Like I'm saying before, it's that feeling of being out of control. So when you can control something, you start to feel like you are in control of more. So taking a huge deep breath in through your mouth, letting it out through your nose, doing that 5, maybe 10 times, and you'll honestly notice a huge difference. I also would recommend grounding at the same time as this. So taking off your shoes, having your feet on the ground so you really feel centered, and doing those breaths while you're standing, or at least sitting and having your feet on the ground. I really do notice this as a huge difference. Sometimes when I'm laying down and it just suddenly, like, I don't feel centered. As soon as I'm able to put my feet on the ground, that's when I notice the biggest difference. So grounding, as well as actually having my feet on the ground, as well as actually breathing and taking huge deep breaths in, will really help your anxiety levels. Third one, you may be a little bit surprised if you've watched any of my previous channel before, or follow me over on Instagram, and I'll link my Instagram below. But one of the biggest things is I don't like talking about a silver lining. In my grief process, I'm like, there just is none. I don't feel like, bringing this up and talking about that. But in all honesty, trying to find a silver lining and still being positive can be very beneficial. Something like for me, for example, I am very fortunate and happy with my job. I work from home, and I get contracted out work, and it's gone really, really well for 6 years. The thing is now some of those businesses that I'm working with, they need to shut their doors, momentarily until this is all done, and that's causing me less work. If I was an employee, I would get a little bit better compensation during that time. So for me, that's like suddenly a feeling of panic because that is some of my income. The good news is like there's so many weekends where I'm working just round the clock, even throughout the weekend, and this is just giving me a little bit of breathing room and just a feeling like, okay, I can get caught up on, you know, some of my cleaning, some of this, some of that, and it's stuff that I honestly just haven't been able to do for a while. Not that I haven't cleaned for a while, but just some of those things that I just haven't had time for. So actually seeing the silver lining that I'm just able to take some time away from myself. I honestly love like bubble baths and stuff like that, and it was just like, my day is done, my work day is done, I'm gonna take a bubble bath and stuff, and I was able to do that the past couple nights. So that was really nice. So seeing a bit of a silver lining within this. When it comes to anxiety in general, like I talked about, it is a lot about the unknown of the future, which ties right into the coronavirus. So one of the things is just hoping and not fearing as much as you could be. So for example, with me, I always like to have a trip booked, and during like lulls with work, or if you know me at all, you know I like to travel a lot. So a lot of times I love having my next trip booked. I wouldn't necessarily say to book a trip right now, but just planning it can be really fun. And for me, like this summer, I'm planning on doing like an East Coast road trip, and that hopefully won't involve, you know, any closures and stuff like that with the coronavirus. So my game plan is to take a nice road trip. So yesterday for, you know, 30 minutes, I was looking at my route and seeing which states I would go through and seeing some awesome hikes that I'll get to do. And that just makes me really excited about the future and makes me understand that although this is going on right now, hopefully it just does go over, and I'm gonna be able to look forward to this really awesome event in the future. My final tip when you're dealing with coronavirus anxiety is just doing everything that you possibly can to prevent anything from happening. So, you know, staying indoors when you should be staying indoors, you know, drinking lots of water. I'm such a big advocate. If you've ever seen my water drinking video, I'll link it below, and all the health benefits that it can have for you, taking a multivitamin, all these things. These things obviously won't fully prevent you from actually not getting the virus, but with that said, it's just gonna help you become the most immune you possibly can be. So just taking the necessary precautions, and like a million and one memes out there, that doesn't mean going and stocking up on toilet paper. It just means making sure you're the healthiest you possibly can be. I'm going to be having a series all this week on basically some sit downs on things you can do to stay healthy while you're traveling. So make sure you hit that little subscribe button, guys, and keep living life. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.